Hi, I'm Maggie,
Hi, I'm Grace, and this is
a very bookish podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to a very bookish podcast. Today is episode 77, and unfortunately, I'm doing this alone. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out our last video or episode. It's episode YouTube video for those who listen on YouTube. But Grace, unfortunately, has to take a step back from the podcast. That in no way means she's leaving, but that means I get to chat with you guys by myself. And you know me, I like chatting with Grace. Grace kind of helps me balance and talk about things. I don't know if I like talking by myself. Maybe I'll just start talking to myself, or technically I'm like talking to you. But welcome to today's episode. It's episode 77. And today we're going to be talking about DNFing books. So grab your glasses. I have some like $5 pink Moscato from Target. This stuff is amazing. The California Roots. Surprisingly, okay, I'm not like a big like into like fancy alcohol and stuff. I'm like, I'll have like a glass a night. So this is like really good for just keeping me like satiated and kind of like a sipping drink, because I sometimes don't even finish the glass. Also got my water with me. Also, Oakley, for our YouTube listeners, is featured behind me. And then if you're also on YouTube, you can see the freaking head that my wig is on. Because I wanted to like start streaming, but I don't know if people would actually want to watch me streaming. Because I want to play like games and stuff, and I'm gonna build a PC soon, and that's gonna help elevate the podcast and give you better quality episodes. So that's something that I'm planning. I've been busy. That's why a lot of the episodes the last couple of weeks have just been nada. We've had like maybe like 2 episodes, 3 episodes the last 2 months, and that's because I'm in grad school. Grace is working again, and we're kind of just busy. So I also don't know why I have my headphones on. I got these like nice gaming headsets, and I don't know, I could like leave it like that, but then my head looks weird, so I'm just gonna leave them on to kind of just get used to them. Also, they are definitely not straight. I just have a small head. Anyways, books. This is a very bookish podcast. Let me stop talking about me. So I guess this whole episode's about me, but I don't like that. So let's talk about DNFing books. So I have 3 books with me right here that I have started and I have not finished. And the thing is, it's not that I don't like them. I like them when I'm reading, but then I just will put it down and I don't want to go back to reading. And I'm like, my whole like career and like everything that I have on the internet is based around me reading. So, little paradox there that I am having. So, the first book that I tried to read, and I haven't finished yet, I am about 118 pages in. I'm on chapter 13, and it has 460 something. Is For Butter or Worse. For our YouTube watchers, here's the cover, but it's by Erin LaRosa, and it's a fake dating between 2 celebrity chefs. So yeah, I like it. Like, I want to read it. Like, I'm like, every time I look at it, I'm like, I should finish that book. I should finish that book. I have not read it for like a month, and I feel bad because I made a video about it and I liked it, and I made the video because like there was a certain scene that I liked, but I just haven't gotten. And I was supposed to do like this like fun like annotating style of like, for our YouTube listeners, you can see like I had this annotating video that I was gonna do, and it just didn't work. I didn't stick to that much because once I got into reading it, I just felt like the pressure to read it. And I think that's my problem, is I feel like Book Talk has created, at least for content creators, and maybe this is something that I just personally have to deal with, is I feel so much pressure to read the current books. And so then I end up not reading them. So like everybody's making videos on these like books that are really popular, and I don't, because I'm just like, I stick to like the same books that I like, because like books I've read before, because I just haven't been reading. I think, let me look at my Goodreads, because I am nowhere near my goal this year. And I know I'm probably never going to hit it this year, which sucks because last year I had like almost 200 books that I read for the year. And this year I'm 30 out of 50, which I need to update because I read a manga. So I'm going to add that in there. But I feel like there's this pressure as content creators for us. And I know what we always talk about, don't feeling the pressure and stuff, but you end up feeling it. And I think with work, school, and the podcast, and like reading has really fell behind for me because it's not a priority right now for me. And like, I miss that. I miss being able to sit down and read for hours. Like a year ago, I literally could read one romance book in a day. Like I could sit down for like 4 hours and read it and be done. I cannot do that today, which sucks because like the speed of my reading has like gone down so much the last year. And that's just like life. And I know that, but it's still like, damn, I wish I could read faster because I'm buying all these books and I don't got the time to read them right now. And I'm going to move once I graduate. So, like, when am I ever going to get like to this? So, that's kind of what I've been struggling with. But that's the first book, For Better or For Worse. The next book I read, like, I don't know, maybe I didn't even get 50. Oh, I marked like, okay, I got like 4 pages in. Oh, no. Okay, I'll say I got like, oh, I got to chapter 2, 18. So this might be an actual DNF. But I love this author, Hazelwood, and her Love on the Brain. I received the book from Berkeley. Berkeley had sent it to me because they sent me the Love Hypothesis and I reviewed it and stuff. And then they sent me this. And I feel bad that I haven't read it yet because, like, I know authors always talk about how, like, if we send you a book, we don't expect you to read it. But there is still that pressure, I think, that even though we do get sent books and we get sent a ton of books, like, I don't get sent that many books, like, nowhere near as much as Eamon and Pauline or like Tanya or like anybody else. I don't nearly get sent as much, but there still is that pressure of like, I have to read and I have to at least make one video about this. And I mean, I guess that's because I am a smaller creator. So it's not like I'm getting so many books that I can't make content out of every single book I get, which would be helpful, honestly. Like if I read every single book I got, the amount of content I would have, outrageous. But there is still that pressure. Like when we get sent arcs, when we get sent books, there is that pressure when you do have a platform. And again, I'm not saying I have nearly as big as a platform. I'm very small compared to other creators on TikTok. And so that was just one thing that, like, I think also with these books, because every single book that I'm talking about here today, I have been sent, is that there is just this feeling of like, oh, I should like at least make a video and stuff because like I am in these influencer like programs and like this is what they want us to do. So I do try to post, like I do try to post on Instagram, like even if I don't read the book, I like just put like some generic stuff about the book that I even know, that like tropes that I like or something like that, and I'll post it. Which also brings another topic, but that I will talk about that later. But yeah, so Love on the Brain. I don't know why, but I can't like get myself to like look at it and be like, I want to read that right now and read it. Versus like when the Love Hypothesis came out, I read that shit so fast. I read that so fast. And yet here I am failing to even finish the second book. And it's also apparently I told my coworkers who worked at Barnes & Noble that it wasn't a real fucking fiction. Well, fuck fiction. Same thing. Fan fiction. But it is apparently. But I did get to meet Allie. And so it was really great. But yeah, and I feel bad. But also like I just don't got the time. I think that is what I'm kind of like starting to get to is I just don't have the time to read all of these books. So there are like certain authors that I do prioritize, like Kennedy Fox. I will prioritize them. Savar Miller, I prioritize the fuck out of her. Anna Huang, priority as fuck. Like there are authors that I will prioritize because I just am so in love with the series that they make that I do want to read. Which brings me to the next book, which is also a series that I love. And this is Olivia Dade's new book. I'm going to do a review on this. Don't worry. I am going to finish this book. I will finish this. Hold on, I'm putting it up. So it's Shipwrecked. It is coming out November 22nd. Thank you, Avon, for sending me this. But yeah, this one I actually do want to read. I'm only 30 pages in, and I'm like, a lot has already fucking happened. And that's what I need in a book. I need shit to start out fast so that it catches me on, because I do feel like sometimes when books are slow at the beginning and it takes like 100 pages to get into like the good stuff, I'm just like, why am I going to read this? Like, no offense to the author, like people have different reading and writing styles. I get that. But just personally for me, it's like I need it to be more engaging. And that's probably because I do have a shorter attention span. So it's like I do have to like pick and choose what books. And I think that's why I do have a priority on certain authors, because they do have that writing style that I like. Except Anna Huang with her last book, Twisted Lies. That bitch was so long. I still read the shit out of it. But yeah, and it's just I'm having a hard time finishing books. And like if it takes me over a week to read, which it has been for all of these books, I just leave it up on my like shelf right here with my TBR at the moment. And I start another book and don't finish it and put it on that shelf. And then start another book and don't finish it and put it back on that shelf. So that's just like my rotating, like I need to read these books because I started them and have not finished them yet. So that's been fun. It's like the main thing I wanted to talk about. And I feel like I started this thinking, oh, I can go for like 30 minutes without having Grace here. Like it's actually really sad. Like we did just launch the University of Smutsville. This is actually like a wrong shirt. It says futhering instead of furthering because I forgot the R. But it's our University of Smutsville collection, which I will have linked down below. But this is kind of inspired by Literary Alexandra. She did like the whole Rush TikTok for Smutsville. And so that's why she like talked to Grace about it. She's like, it would be such a good shirt design. And we were like, oh my gosh, can't we make like a collection out of that? And she's like, yeah. So thank you. We have like the sorority tee, which I have not gotten my shirts in yet. And I ordered my samples a while ago. So yeah, those are open. I really enjoyed the process of doing this collection because I got to design quite a few of the designs. So like the University of Smutsville, like the official one, I designed. I did the Dark Romance Readers Club. I designed that. I designed, trying to think, the Kinks for All Association. I designed that. The alumni, I designed that. I mean, it was like Grace and I both like talking, but like I actually like sat down and like did the like adjustments and everything, which was great. Not my cup of tea, and I leave it to Grace, but it was fun to like feel passionate about something. I think is because I've just been in school for so long, and I felt like in such a rut the last couple months that I like it was really fun, and I already have designs that I want to make for October, and like we have like the University of Smutsville collection will always be updated, so there's always going to be new designs and designs going out, and like it's going to be constantly rotating, but like we will have like our staple pieces. um Ice Planet Barbarians, that's also like one of my other favorite ones. The Omega House, Just Nodding Around, which was inspired by Maya Reed Spice. And we had that whole conversation about the Omega verse on the podcast. That was really fun. I'm trying to think. We have a couple designs. I have a couple more like dark romance themed because I just feel like with our Brutal Lady series, we had like this very niche for just brutal ladies, and we kind of wanted to expand the shop and be like broad while still having those like little collections as well. So we also have our Smut Lover collection, which is like just a giant red Smut Lover. Um, I have a mug and a tote for that. I'm thinking about making it a t-shirt and a sweatshirt just for people who want to have that. It's all black though. I do want to make a beanie. I have so many things that I want to do, which I'm very excited about. Also, sorry, my voice. Holy shit! Do I hear my voice crack? Sorry, we can. Oh my god! Hold on a second. I really hope y'all didn't hear that. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff that I'm planning and that I want to do. Um, and so that's kind of like what we want the shop to be. I'm moving to California. Yay me. I got a job offer that I'm hoping that I will accept here in the coming week of moving to California. And like that's been a dream. Like I don't tell many people like what my dream is. So if you're listening to this episode, you get like an insight into my head. But like I'm just not very open with a lot of these deeper things besides like Grace and a couple people. But like California has been like a dream of mine since I was young. And I grew up in Texas. You know how Texans are? They're like, when you tell them, oh, I would have moved to California, they're like, why? Why do you want to pay taxes? And why do you want to? And I'm like, I'm a socialist. I don't care about that shit. Like, I want to pay taxes. Like, I want to have a better community and stuff. And so, yeah. So I was just like, I don't care. Like, there's a reason for taxes. Like, I'll gladly pay taxes. And yeah, so when I was telling like my family and stuff, they're like, why are you moving to California? Like, and I just never wanted to hear it. So I would never tell anybody. But I knew that when going into college, I was like, I want to move to California. Like, that's like my goal is like to move to California. I was planning on just applying to jobs out there. And then come graduation, when my parents asked me, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got a job in California. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. Um, but yeah, so it's been like that, and so that's why I haven't um really like talked about it much. And I think since going with Grace and my family this like year and like seeing Grace and kind of like being around the area, I really felt like, oh my gosh, like I'd gone when I was younger. um and then I'd like gone to San Diego, and I've gone to San Francisco, and I was like okay with those places, but LA is just, and maybe I'm romanticizing it, but I'm young and I just want to have fun. So I'm excited to move to California. Hold on, I'm gonna respond to a text message. Um, yeah, so I'm moving. Um, don't know how I'm gonna bring all my books. Like, I think I'm gonna sell my bookshelves and then have to buy like new ones or cheaper ones or try to bring them with me. But like, when I moved up to Omaha with all of my books, that was a feat. Now that I have to move across like multiple states, 21 hours away, how am I going to do that? I'm going to have to find a packing system that like the best way to pack books, because when I pack them in like tote bags, and I would just have tons of tote bags. But that's not gonna work because I'm just gonna have like a U-Haul trailer thing. I'm not gonna have that much storage. So book storage is like gonna be kind of iffy for me. And so I'm kind of nervous about that. I'm like gonna sell like my couch, and I'll probably sell like my bed and like some like systems that I have and all that jazz. But yeah, kind of nervous about like my books and like my desk setup because I love my setup that I have now and I really enjoy it. Because I have two monitors here. So I have you on this monitor, and then I have my huge 32-inch monitor here. I got like the new Samsung M8 monitor because I use it as TV when I sit in bed, and I'll watch like YouTube videos all the way in bed. But like I also want to have a space that I can feel settled down because like the last 3 years when I've lived in places I knew, okay, like I'm not going to be here for more than a year. And I felt like that's how it's been for the last like 5 or 6 years of my life is I know I'm not going to be here much longer. So like why put down roots and all that? Wow, this is getting really therapy. It's fine. It's fine. Well, I'll bring it back to books. But yeah, that's why I'm like kind of nervous about taking my books. Um, I do think I'll like do like a lot of shelves stuff. Shelves. I like Calvin, his like shelving system that he had. I really liked that where it's like more of that like clustered but put together feel, if you know what I mean. With his not his new one at his college, but like where his parents' house, their parents' house. I think I'm sorry, Calvin. They. I'm pretty sure it's they. Um, but they did a really good job of like everything that just the aesthetics that they had of their room was really good. Um, but yeah, I know. I'm nervous now to like move. And it's been kind of like not giving me panic attacks because that was like my main thing is like I was like, okay, I'm gonna move. I got like a job offer. My books. Like that was like the first thing what I thought of. Like, not my cat, not me, was my books. If that doesn't tell you my priority in life, I don't know what does. Like my books were like the first thing where I was like, shit, how am I going to take all this shit with me? And I'm constantly buying books. I'm constantly getting books. So I'm just so nervous. I don't know if has anybody ever like traveled with books. Um, Please send me a DM and tell me what you did because your girl is going to probably need help. I'm thinking I'll probably do like big, like container boxes, like the big black and yellow ones. I'll probably do those because I know those can fit like a ton of stuff in them, and I can stack them on top of each other without them like folding like boxes. So I'll probably do that. Um, but yeah, I'm nervous. Can you tell I'm nervous? I can tell I'm nervous. But yeah, I I feel like I want to push these episodes to be longer, but I will tell you that without Grace, I do struggle with talking because I think that's why our podcast works so well. Is Grace and I can't. I feel like I'm talking about Grace so much this episode. Hi, Grace. Hi. Um, this is like like intro to my mind, and like y'all get to like see what I think about and stuff. Which I will reveal a lot about myself within the next coming weeks. But not every, what I want to say is that not every episode will be just me. Like, I have authors lined up. I'm probably going to ask for some like friends to come on. Um, yeah. And like the thing is, like, but this podcast is like, I love this podcast. This podcast is my baby. And like, eventually we might evolve into something else. I don't know what that's going to be, but I do love this podcast. And I just, Oh, damn. I'm tired. It's 8 p.m. I'm actually recording this on the Friday night beforehand. I'm supposed to get up at 6 in the morning. I kind of want to try. I'm not going to talk about that. I kind of want to do a podcast where I just talk about my life, but I feel like this episode is showing me that I can't. I feel like I want it to be called like brain fart or something because like that's what my brain feels like. Um, but yeah, so the podcast is not going to be every week with just me. I think looking at my schedule, I'll be almost like every week we'll have somebody, if not every other week. So you'll see me like alone every other week, but I hopefully will get people to come on. I am wearing, so I'm wearing our University of Smutsville sweatshirt, and then I'm also wearing our More Books shirt. And when I tell you this More Books shirt, like our t-shirts are so comfortable. Like we choose the Bella and Canvas, and I feel like these are the best shirts I've ever worn. Like I can stretch them out and they stay stretchy. And I like that. As a bigger person, as a fat person, as a plus size person, I enjoy that. So yeah. But what was I gonna say? Intro into Maggie's mind of I literally am running 100 miles an hour in my mind. There was something. My nails. So I know they look so janky. Like they're actually two different colors. I'm learning how to do my own gel nails. Um, so like they're like long almond shapes. This middle finger is so dark compared to the other ones for some reason. They're all like the dark this side is all the same color, but they all turned out different. Interesting. But I did these without like a nail file. And I think I need to get a nail file because this ring finger, my right hand ring finger is janky. Like janky. Like this thing is it's gross. It like looks like a duck bill. Like that's what it looks like. If that's a perfect explanation. It's a duck bill, and it's not supposed to like my thumb and my pointer look amazing. Whew. She's nervous. So I'll probably gonna redo them tomorrow when my drill comes in and do just like one color with gloss and not matte because the matte look like shit. The gloss look way better. Um but yeah, so this was a lot we talked about, or I talked about, and I rambled. I'm so sorry. Like, this is not going to be every week. It's not going to be like this. If you did like it like this, please let me know because I'm going to change how this is laid out. I might like start in adding some like clips from stuff and talking about like I want to talk about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. So like if y'all are interested, I'm thinking about asking Amon and Pauline because they both love House of the Dragon too to come on and kind of talk with me about this because I don't think I can do a whole episode by myself, but I feel like it'd be good banter with the three of us. But yeah, so next week's guest, I'm gonna tell you guys now because it's just easier than me like waiting until like next week and you're like, who's that guest? So our next week's guest is gonna be Kilby Blades. And so if you want to, I would recommend reading her book. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and it's called Looks Good on Paper. For our YouTube people, you can see it. Looks Good on Paper by Kilby Blades. And it says he checked all the boxes. Too bad he wasn't who he said he was. So I'm guessing there's like a betrayal, like identity, like lying about his identity kind of thing, which I'm excited about. It's not too long. It's 34 chapters. Sorry. And that's okay. I'm excited to read this. I'm actually going to read it tonight because I was supposed to read it this week because I'm going to have her on the podcast tomorrow. So next week I'll have her on. So if you haven't already, please read this book so that when we talk about it on the podcast, you can also listen and be like, oh, that's cool. Like, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about our new release. Also, this cover looks so cute. It's like the classic cartoon cover. I will finish this book. I'm not going to DNF this book. I will finish this one. Maybe that'll get me into like the spirit of reading again. Because my internship is going to end in a month. I'm so excited. And I have a fall break, not this week, but the next week. And then 2 weeks left. So hopefully I'll start to like vibe again. But yeah, so thank you for listening. Sorry? No, I'm not sorry. But like, I could have warned you, and I kind of did warn you last episode, but I kind of didn't. But this is kind of like the inside of my mind where I'm literally rambling, like going 100% every single time. If you haven't already, go ahead and check out our Etsy page. Sorry, I keep hitting my mic. I'm sorry. Our Etsy page that has University of Smutsville, our collection, our Smut Lover collection. We still have some Brutal Ladies merch if you want that. More books, the More Book shirt. Amazing. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like the podcast, and follow us on all social media. I am going to try to start posting YouTube shorts. We'll see how that goes. But for now, thank you, everybody, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.